Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I'm trying to say welcome, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. Maybe that. There we go. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting episode. Oh, this is our life. Oh gosh.
Oh, hello, kitty.
No, I have the nicotine gum in my mouth, and for the keen brown shirts, I changed I got into my other emails in my old Facebook account.
Oh, they want to start their shit again, huh?
Well, I've changed it again. I'm not going to tell you. I never told you in the first place, but y'all are hackers. Some of you, anyway. And it is, that's what I want to talk about. It is just so sad that there's this group of people that claim to believe in liberty, claim to believe in non-coercion.
Yeah, right.
That will hack somebody's account if they dare to criticize them. Will lie and slander people if they dare to criticize them.
And you dare to tell the truth about them.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you all would live up to your claims, to your words, there'd be no reason to criticize you. But you don't. You're a bunch of hypocrites. And what? Ian Bernard got 4% of the vote? Come on.
He's lucky he got 1%.
Yeah. Now, I bet most of those votes were from people who were just casting protest ballots and had no idea who he was. I was actually a very active Democrat for a long time, and I heard people. I was one of the people that would cast a protest ballot, but my political beliefs aren't easy to categorize. I'm pro-life. I'm anti-death penalty. I'm pro-peace. I'm pro-peace, but at the same time, I believe that there's nothing wrong with a strong defense. It's just hope you never have to use it. But anyway, we saw one of the idiots the other day, and I hollered out the window, "Hypocrite!" Because that's exactly what he is. That's what most of you are, and that's sad. We can go into Keene, and 98, 99% of the time, we never see any of you. You're not making the impact you think or that you may want to be making. And I don't like this whole thing, well, you're not one of us. No, freedom is for everybody, man. Not just for you, not just for this group or that clique.
Don't give in to you and do shit you want us to.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly right.
We have a brain, we have freedom, we have the right to say what we want to, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, and
asshole.
If you guys would just not be hypocrites, and I'm sorry, but well, no, I'm not sorry. I mean, when you say 5-year-olds can have consensual relations with an adult, do you expect me to respect you? You're in your 30s and you're sleeping with a teenager? I don't mean an 18 or 19-year-old. Even that would be wrong, though. But a 16-year-old. And you started working on her when she was 14. You're a sicko.
Psycho.
Psycho. So, and the thing is, man, I've been around. And then again, we're both quite a bit older than the vast majority of you. So we've seen things and done things and heard things and said things that some of you may never do. But look, I remember in España, my home, the police just shot people. They didn't have to have a reason to do it. They're just having a bad day. They shoot somebody. I've seen things a whole lot worse than they are in the United States. A whole lot worse. I'm not saying things are good or things are bad over here. I'm just saying I've seen a lot worse. And this is the way we lived in Spain. It was we were fully aware of what was going on. It's not like we were a bunch of idiots. We lived our lives. We knew the risks. Do you think we did not play football in the plaza? Well, not really in the streets, but would depend on where you lived. But in the plazas, of course, Guardia Civil taking a gun and shooting the football because he's pissed off, or stop making all that noise. Bang. No, not like that never happened. But, and one of the interesting things is in España, we were better off than most people, than the vast majority of people. But that's relative because we had a car. Most people didn't have a motor car. The people that did have a vehicle, it was a Vespa. It's called a motorcycles. Not, what do they call Vespa? Scooters. We didn't call them scooters. We called them motorcycles.
I just asked him about Dingbat.
Oh.
Yeah, just asked.
Um,
Just asked a good friend of mine about. Didn't give all the details, but.
yeah. But,
yeah.
They would arrest my dad on a regular basis. Not that he was doing anything wrong, not that he was doing anything, well, laws under a dictator. I mean, yeah, just existing could be illegal. But, my dad's secretary would call Colonel Serrano over in Sevilla, and Colonel Serrano's office, not necessarily Colonel Serrano himself, but somebody from his office would call down to Cadiz and say, you need to let the guy go. I don't know where my dad got it, but every Christmas my dad would buy some good American, like Tennessee whiskey. And he probably didn't buy it all at once. He probably bought it over a period of time. And he would give it as gifts to the Guardia Civil where we lived, in the town we lived in. That kept them off our backs for a little while. And like we would be going somewhere. My father ran four or five different ports. And
I think that's kind of an interesting.
Yeah, I like that.
Flower skull.
And we would wherever we would be going to. We could be going to Sevilla. There was no port in Sevilla. There's no port in there. There's no port there. There's no. Anyway, and the police would stop us, and it's this. It's like, well, come on, give me a bribe, and all my dad would have to say was, "Oh, we're going to see Colonel Serrano," or "We're going to a birthday party for Colonel Serrano's son," something like that. And, no, okay, just checking, just making sure you're okay. That's all. Go ahead, go on your way. We had many police forces, police organizations. I don't know how you would say that. The one that I remember that did not carry a gun were like the traffic police. They would stand on a stool at intersections, and they had a whistle, and they wore white uniforms. And it's like, this way, stop, go that way. I think pretty much, I don't think all the police forces carried guns, but no, the Guardia Civil was more like a paramilitary unit, though, not really a police. They weren't quite police, they weren't quite military, they're kind of. So, I've seen things a whole lot worse. I mean, I'm not saying I don't complain about things. I do. I've seen very bad things happen in the United States. I've heard about even worse. I knew somebody in San Antonio that had her nephew and his friends shot in the back by an off-duty 20-year veteran detective who laid in wait, shot in the back. Would it have made a difference if they would have been shot in the chest? I mean, in the front? Considering the circumstances, no, it wouldn't have made a difference. But you know, somebody gets pulled over by the police in Keene, and you roll down the window that far. I don't blame you. I mean, you do need to assert your rights every now and then. But why don't you fight for the liberty, for the freedom of everybody, not just yourselves, not just your little clique. And frankly, when you go in and you hack people's accounts because they dare to criticize you, well, maybe you shouldn't be doing the stupid things that they criticize you about. Maybe you just shouldn't be doing that. Maybe you shouldn't be sleeping with children. Maybe you shouldn't be violent.
Maybe you shouldn't be assholes.
Yeah, I mean, come on, people. So, and you wonder why people don't like you, don't trust you, don't respect you. You're just, and the sad thing is, there are activists in Manchester that I like, I respect, I like what they do. If we lived over there, well, I can't handle living in a city, but I mean, if we lived over there or close to there, I'd probably go out there and do some of those things, because they're not getting in people's faces and attacking people, and they're not using violence against people and then claiming that they're peaceful people. It's just a bunch of freaking hypocrites. Don't be hypocrites. Don't be liars. Don't slander people. And you wouldn't get all this bad press, man. Come on. It's not that difficult to figure out. A lot of you are psycho. You need to be on your medication, but you refuse to be on your medication. If you were on your medication, you wouldn't be doing some of the crazy nonsense that you do. And you wonder why people and you wonder why you get criticized.